Squeeze out a glob of printmaking ink about the size of a quarter. Roll your brayer back and forth to coat the entire roller. Keep rolling until the ink makes a crackling sound, and then you'll know it's ready. Don't try to coat the entire paper plate or tray that you've squeezed the ink onto, because that's not the object. Then take your block and take your brayer and roll ink out onto the block like this to coat the entire block, and try to coat it as evenly as you can. So if you see any places where the ink is thinner, you want to go over that more so that it's all an even thickness all the way over. Take your piece of paper and put it straight down on the block, and then take a wooden spoon and rub firmly over the whole surface, kind of in a circular motion and back and forth. Hold the paper down with your other hand. Make sure you go over the corners and over the entire center of the block. You can start to see the color coming through a little bit. Lift it up and see if there's any places where the ink isn't coming through. And when you see those places, put the paper back down and go over those places some more. Don't ever lift the entire paper off until you know you've gotten it as good as you can get it, because it'll be hard to put it back on and have it be exactly lined up like you want it to be. Okay, there's a spot where it's not really coming through yet, and so I want to concentrate on that spot. See, that's what you have to do. See, that's showing up pretty good now. And this is what it looks like on this side. Looks like I need to go over it a little bit more. Hopefully I've got enough ink on the block that I can get the coverage that I'm looking for. And carefully peel it up. And this is what my print looks like with the outline. You might want to make a few of those before you carve any more sections out. Now that I've cut out the penguin, I'm going to make a print to see what that looks like. So I'm rolling out the ink the exact same way that I did when I showed you when I printed the outline. I'm trying to get really even coverage. So here what's going to be printed is the background and the outline. And the penguin will stay the same color as the paper. And just like the first print I did, I put the paper on top of the inked block, and then I use a hard smooth object to rub over the whole surface. And I check it, and then I keep rubbing if there's parts that aren't covered adequately. And I don't take it off the block completely until I have exactly what I want, or close to it. I've done just the opposite with the other side of my block. I cut out the background and I left the penguin. And now I'm just inking the penguin. And I can make a print just like this on a piece of paper, clean piece of paper, so the background's the color of the paper. Or I can take one of the other prints that I made from the other side after it's dried, and if I lined it up carefully on both sides of the block when I've transferred and carved, I can put this print on, and I can make a two-color print by lining up carefully and then by rubbing in the area where I want to print. The first prints are known as proofs. They're what a printmaker makes to see what changes they want to make before they make their addition. And this one here, there's a few things that I would like to change. One of them is that I have two pupils in each eyeball, a red one and a green one. And the other thing is that I have a little piece of green over in the red right under his beak that I don't want. So since I still have the ink on my block, I can tell what parts are actually printing that I don't want to print. I can see these little green areas that I want to get rid of. So I'm going to carefully carve those off, and I've left the green actually on there so that I can see them well enough to know exactly what I want to get rid of. Okay, now that I have those areas cut away, I can roll some more ink on, and then I can see how it's turning out. And basically that's how printmakers do it. They make proofs first, and then they make changes in the block if they need to, and they make more proofs, and then when they get it the way they want it, then they start their addition. Now that I've inked it up again and I've cut away the area that I wanted to change, I'll go ahead and print it and I'll see if that makes any difference. Okay, I have my 2-color print, and the green that I didn't want there is gone, but I still need to get rid of some of the eyeballs in the eye. Making a 2-sided block like this gives you the ability to experiment a lot more. You can see 3 different kinds of prints that I've been able to make with this one block, and I could probably do a lot of variations with it too, more than what I've done.